All right, I know this may look like a bit of a road rant. All these noises might make this into an ASMR video. But I'm not moving, so I'm not gonna technically call this a road rant. I might publish it as a road rant, but this is really one of the Everything You Need to Know series. And we're going to deal with a real basic one, a fundamental one. So you might ask, well, why are we going over basics? Why are we going over fundamentals? Because there are flaws in the practice. There's flaws in the practice of the fundamentals. And one of the reasons that they are so fundamental is because they're important and they're a lifelong endeavor. So a lot of times with this Everything You Need to Know series, we're going to talk about character. And we're going to dissect character traits. Today's trait is honesty. Jordan Peterson is famous these days for his 12 rules. And one of his 12 rules is super simple: tell the truth. Or at least don't lie. And you might ask yourself, why would somebody be famous for something so obvious? That's because common sense is not common practice. Everybody knows honesty is important. But what's happening now is people are misconstruing their feelings for facts and presenting that truth, and that's supposed to be good enough. It's not. It's not good enough. Just because you feel like you were mistreated doesn't mean you were. But if the feeling is sincere, you can be honest in presenting it. So you're honest, but you're still not telling the truth. Honesty is a sincere expression of a person's information or feelings. If I'm telling you what I really think and what I really feel, that's honesty. But that's not truth. Truth is an elusive concept that we seek. And it's important that we seek truth. And it's important that we never finish the journey of seeking truth. But along the way, along the entire way, it's important to be honest. Because let's think about this. There is a truth. There is an objective truth about everything. However, human beings are biased because we literally and psychologically all have a perspective. Therefore, there's going to be some divergence in people's perception of the truth. There's going to be some divergence. It shouldn't be completely different. There's a level of disagreement that makes it clear that all parties are not seeking the truth. And a lot of times what happens is because someone is being dishonest. Expressing yourself honestly and truly and completely is difficult enough. That's why most people don't do it. You say, well, there's a lot of videos, online. Yeah, but that's still 1% of people making videos. Most people don't want to talk. And the reason that they don't want to talk is because of the public scrutiny for it, the judgment, and the difficulty of expression. It's not easy. It's not easy to say what you think. It's not easy to know what you think well enough to put it in words. Then to have the courage to share it with people and make yourself vulnerable to scrutiny, it's hard. So if it's hard to actually express yourself when you're being honest and you're sincerely seeking the truth, that's hard. Doing it right is difficult. To clearly express oneself and be heard and understood by your audience. It's hard. That's hard enough by itself. Now, integrate a fundamental misalignment of the approach. Implement dishonesty. Now it's hopeless. You're supposed to be honestly seeking the truth and then honestly expressing your perception of it. Both of those things, lifelong challenges. Incredibly difficult. People ask me, do you speak Spanish? Maybe a little bit. I throw around with like a couple of Italian words and Japanese words, just because some words sound better and more fun in different languages than English. But the long and short of it, if I'm learning to speak another language, no. Why? Because English is hard enough. Good communication in your native tongue is hard enough. Because you have to deal with the inherent barriers to expression that are the flaws of the human psyche. In other words, you're not good enough at talking because you're not good enough at thinking. None of us are exempt. This might not be the greatest video you ever seen. Want to know why? Because I'm flawed. Communication's hard. But when a person knows one thing and says something else, you completely derail what is already a difficult process. It's already hard. You're going to do it wrong on purpose? And honesty is not just a personality trait. It's a virtue. A necessary personality trait for well-being and the best possible life. It's a virtue. It's an important personality trait. Why is it a virtue? Because it aligns with a natural principle that extends beyond the human capabilities. Honesty is a universal principle. It matters. If you say things that are wrong, you pollute the world with toxic misinformation. And I don't mean misinformation in the CNN sense of the word. Oh, we don't like that, so it's misinformation. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about knowingly projecting something that is untrue. The world only functions as well as it does because there is a consensus and agreement on the truth of some things. The more you're dishonest, the more you disrupt the order of society. And you cannot disrupt the order of society and not experience a downside. In other words, lying is not free. You lie to this person, they run with that information. And then they present it to someone else honestly, not because they're lying, but the effect is the same. They're propagating bad information. And the principle of honesty does not give you points for sincerity. If you propagate misinformation, the universe will deal with the fact that it's bad information. It won't care if you thought it was right. That's why it's important to seek truth. If you're standing on a building and I tell you, oh, don't worry, we're only on the first floor, and there's a cushion over there, and if you just step off right there, you'll be fine. And you tell somebody else that because you believe it, and they walk over there honestly, sincerely, thinking it's the truth, and they step off the building, they fucking fall and get hurt. Their pain has nothing to do with their awareness of the danger. The pain has to do with operating with bad information. From a person who was knowingly dishonest. Tell the truth. Why don't you want to tell the truth? I'll tell you why you don't want to tell the truth. Because the truth is scary. It can be scary for many reasons. But the most common reason that people lie is because the truth is scary. They don't want to be exposed. And nobody wants to be known for being a liar. Right? One of the fastest ways to offend somebody is to call them a liar. Why is that so offensive? Because when a person is marked as a liar, you're basically not allowing them to participate in society. Like, your word is that important. Not necessarily in a matter of foresight. I mean, yeah, your word's important in terms of foresight, but in hindsight, it's more important because you're talking about stuff that already did happen. And time is linear. Either it did happen or it did not. You can be wrong in advance. You can't be wrong in the past. So the fact that everybody doesn't want to be called a liar means that we all know. We all know it's important to be honest. And that is what That is the biggest challenge that we have as people. That is the biggest challenge we have. It's to act in accordance with what we know. Because there are things that we know, and then there are disincentives to act in accordance with what we know. You know that eating healthy is good for you, but then you don't. Why? Because there's a disincentive. Unhealthy food tastes good. So when people are being dishonest, they must be disincentivized from doing so. There's a risk. Something is scary. Don't let that be you. Tell the fucking truth. That doesn't mean say everything you think. That doesn't mean disclose every bit of information to everybody you meet. There's a reason that you have different circles of friends and relationships. Not everybody gets to know everything. But the people that you choose to engage with, your colleagues, your family, your friends, whoever you engage with due to relationships that you created, or at least put yourself in a position to be a part of. In other words, people you talk to. Tell the truth. Well, what if they ask me something I don't want to talk about? Then say, I don't want to talk about that. But see, nobody wants to be that guy. Nobody wants to say none of your business. I don't want to answer that. I don't want to talk about that. Nobody wants to say that. If you ask me a question and I say none of your business, I'm an asshole. Right? But if you ask me a question and I lie to you, isn't that worse? In the moment, it may feel good. But I would posit that the real asshole is not the guy who said none of your business. He just lacks people skills. But the real asshole is the one who knowingly said things that were not true. And we've all done it. This wouldn't be a thing. It wouldn't be worth making a video if it was rare. One of the most honest things I've ever heard was, I forget what show it was on, but it was a police officer and he was trying to comfort, I want to say, a victim. And the victim kept saying, but he lied to me, he lied to me. And the cop looks at her and he goes, everybody lies, man. Let's fix that. Starting today. If there's some lies out there lingering, clean them up. Contact that person and be like, hey, I told you such and such, but it's not the truth. The truth is this. Sometimes you don't know the truth. Be honest about that. Like, hey, why'd you do this? I don't know. These are the reasons that I think I did it. Sometimes the answer is I don't know. I don't know is fine. That's really it. This is 20 minutes. I'm going to end it from here. But be honest. Tell what you know to be true. That's all for now.